So I just finished watching the 2020 movie Human Capital, and I'm still trying to figure out what I think of it because my opinion on it is like pretty mixed. Uh, on the one hand, I really like what it was trying to go for. I hadn't read the book or anything, or didn't really know much about what it was about, other than like, oh, there's like a tragic car accident that affects two families, but and that is the plot of the movie. That's like the what I was told was the set. Well, I mean, since I was told that was the plot of the movie, I assumed that would be the setup. But the thing is, that's not where the movie, well, it is where the movie opens, but at the same time we don't truly delve into that part of the movie until the ending of the movie, which is kind of ridiculous because it feels like the kind of thing that should be the setup to the movie. Because this is the sort of event that you'll want to explore in its entirety and explore the aftermath of with all the character interactions to create more excitement so that the audience doesn't get bored. Now, I wasn't bored while watching the movie, not in the slightest, but I could see a lot of people getting bored while watching this movie. I one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it was the follow up to My Friend Dahmer, which was a really good movie by the same director. And the cast looked great. As expected, Alex Wolff was the standout for me personally. I thought he did an excellent job. But he also came in really late into the game in this one. He didn't pop up until like the last 40 minutes or so of the movie. So it's kind of a shame that the best performance in the movie, when a lot of them felt kind of dull, took so long before it came into play. And I guess part of the reason why it felt a little bit dull most of the performances is because they're trying to have realistic restraint before everything goes down. Like, because you're not gonna be like acting crazy in every scene because, you'd be talking normal. But it just kind of felt a little bit monotone when they'd be delivering lines, which is fine because like you got these charismatic actors that everyone likes, and all the parts are just so well casted, and there is like this likability to the cast and like how they're used and things like that, but you still regret them not using them more or using them better. Does that make sense? One thing is for sure, it definitely should have been longer. 90 minutes was not nearly enough to cover all the ground that they wanted to cover. You can tell that when you've got 20 minutes left of the movie and they haven't even delved into the plot yet. And then when you're at 9 minutes left and you feel like you're only halfway through the movie's plot, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is the epilogue to the movie? But I feel like I'm vibing with middle act stuff right now. And then all of a sudden you see the epilogue and the ending, and you're like, wait, now? It kind of feels like it's rushed. And it just comes on too quickly. It feels like we need more middle and third act type material stuff to happen, like after the accident. We need like more time for that to digest, like more characters to talk about what to do, more time for like tension to close in, more time for stuff like that. And the stuff that is there is some of the best stuff in the movie. The chemistry between Maya Hawke and Alex Wolff is great in the movie, and they both play their characters very well. And everyone else in the cast, for the most part, does do a good job. They all have their little moments to shine. And then, yes, at parts, like I said earlier, there are a couple of scenes that seem to me to have a little bit of dull delivery. But for the most part, I was glad I watched Human Capital. This is the 2020 version, by the way. Uh, yeah, it's just a shame that I felt a lot of it was underutilized. Like, they should have shown more. Like, there's a lot of potential that they weren't tapping into that I felt like they could have. And then I'm not even sure what happened during the ending. I don't know what happened. I tried Googling what happened during the ending and literally no results came up. So I don't know what that says. I don't know if that's because I saw it too early or what it is. But, like, apparently no one has an answer for me as to what exactly happened there at the end. All I know is when Maya Hawke ran into that house and started screaming and crying, I don't know what she was screaming and crying at because I didn't get a good look at it, but I feel like it was something important that I missed. So, um, I'm very concerned about that because I feel like I missed probably the biggest piece of the plot there is. So, yeah, the pacing was kind of all over the place because it went slow for so long and then so fast they can't even tell what's going on anymore. And it's just, it's odd. It's weird how they approached it. But it's still, like, worth a watch for sure. Just know that it's very, very flawed. Uh, it's it's a little bit disappointing, but as long as you go in with like pretty low expectations, I think you'll manage. If you like the what was I don't even know what I was gonna say there. Anyways, if any of this sounds fine with you and interesting, I'd recommend it. Uh, but just know like the plot does take forever to kick into gear. Although when it finally does, I wasn't as mad at the ending as everyone else was apparently. I'd still give it like a 7 out of 10, which is higher than most other people I've been told give it. So yeah, that's a recommend for me. That's a thumbs up, I guess. I guess it's more a thumbs to the side because I hadn't really determined yet. Like, when I got to 20 minutes left, I was like, this is probably going to be a thumbs down because there's like nothing has happened yet. And like, I was like, if nothing literally happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie and the plot was all just a lie, then I'm going to be very mad. But then the plot happened and I was like, okay, that brings us up to a sideways. All right, fair enough. I just wish that they had done that sooner. Like, if they could have gotten that in there, like, even halfway in, then it would have been a thumbs up. But it would have been preferable if they could have kicked into that at the end of the first act. That would have been more natural pacing to have that incident be like at the half hour mark and then like explore that and then really shove things into gear during the third act. I feel like that would have been more natural and then have the whole epilogue scene at the end. But the way they did it, it felt like there's so many things that happened that they didn't explain or explore that just kind of left me a bit confused. Yeah, so there's like two big mistakes that they made. And if they would have just changed those two things, I would have loved the movie. Like, it probably would have been, like, amazing if they just would have changed those two things. It's, like, so evident to me, like, how you could have made this a great movie. But as it is, it's just kind of flawed. So, yeah, don't hate it, don't love it, but it's good. It's not awful. It could have been worse. Uh but yeah, the description is just kind of spoilery and misleading. More like the plot of the movie is people like money.